Let's talk a little bit about the what you've told the legislature in terms of your projections over the next period of time. I'm not asking you to reveal any state secrets, but if you could share with us that which is a matter of public record, I think our viewers would find that interesting, and maybe we can look behind those numbers a little bit. So let's start there.
Sure. So, we start with this environment where I've painted a picture of a tight labor market, where there's high demand for workers and low unemployment, and we do expect and we forecast Minnesota's economic expansion, to continue over the next several years. We forecast out to 2019 right now. But the change from what we did in November to what we're doing in February is that we have that growth going at a little slower rate than what we had forecast before. And in terms of employment growth, we are specifically recognizing that going forward, employment growth is going to be limited by this slow labor force growth. And so we have employment growth, which is the number of new jobs added with a person in them per year. We have that being roughly the same as projections for labor force growth, with a little bit of addition there. So we think that people talk at the national level about slack in the labor market, meaning, how many more people can we get employed, and how much room is there? In Minnesota, there's not a lot of slack in the labor market. We have levels of long-term unemployed, people who are involuntary part-time workers, meaning that they're part-time but they would prefer full-time work. Those numbers are at pre-recession levels now. So we think there's a little bit of room to move for wages to go up and pull a few more people into employment. And that's what we have going forward. So it's modest growth going forward, but continued growth. We have that in employment. We have that in wage and salary income as well. What we also have in our forecast is that because of these limitations on employment growth, while we have moderate growth in total payrolls for the state of Minnesota, we think that more of the growth in wage and salary income going forward is going to be because wages per worker are going up. So it's not as much about getting a whole lot more people employed, because we don't have all that many left to employ. It's more about the workers who are employed having higher average wages. And so that informs our forecast going forward.
Right, and some of that wage growth that you're discussing is something we have not been seeing in preceding years. So that's pretty significant to the people who live in Minnesota.
Yes.
So how confident are we, and maybe this is a question for both of you, how confident are we about data? And by that I mean we know that China reports numbers. We're not sure if we can rely on those numbers. How about our numbers? Can we rely on our numbers? What's the accuracy level? What's our confidence level, not only of our state statistics, but our national statistics?
So you're right that a lot of people are kind of puzzled about what's going on in China and whether those numbers are numbers that we can rely on. In the state of Minnesota, there is risk to our forecast. So there is risk to our forecast that is primarily due to risk to the U.S. economy. So Minnesota, because we have a diverse economic base, we have an economic base distribution of employment across industrial sectors that's pretty broad and looks a lot like the U.S. economy. So we don't have a lot of state-specific employment risk. So in our forecast, most of the risk comes from what's going to happen in the U.S. economy. So we can believe the numbers that we get from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and Bureau of Economic Analysis, but the forecast for the U.S. economy that we have to rely on has risk associated with it, and Minnesota's economic forecast assumes some of that. So,
and the risk means it may not turn out as we project.
It may not turn out, and so it could be that the U.S. economy is going to grow faster than what has been forecast. It could be that it'll grow more slowly than what has been forecast, and Minnesota's economy is going to move roughly along there. And the risks to the U.S. economy right now are largely external, and the risks to Minnesota's economy are largely external to the state of Minnesota. So these are risks having to do with slowing global growth, so China and other emerging market economies in Europe all having slower growth than what had been projected earlier. And in addition, that's influencing the demand for goods that come out of the United States and come out of Minnesota. So that's influencing Minnesota's economy.
And so when we talk about global growth, knowing that there are issues in Europe, knowing that there are issues in China, that may affect businesses in Minnesota that export to those places.
That's right. So at the moment, one of the big factors influencing the U.S. economy is that, well, the U.S. economy is growing moderately, not huge numbers, but it's growing moderately. Other economies are growing more slowly. So there's that differential between expected growth in the United States and expected growth in other countries. And that is attracting investment into the United States. So people are saying the only place I can make any money is investing in the United States. And so when money is coming into the United States for investment, that increases the demand for U.S. dollars, because you need the dollars to make those investments. That increases the value of the U.S. dollar. And when the dollar is strong, that means that our goods that are exported out of the United States and out of Minnesota are more expensive for our foreign customers. So that slow global growth hits us in that way, that it reduces their ability to buy our goods and services. And in our Minnesota economic forecast, we have incorporated that in some specific ways. For instance, we think that the strength of the U.S. dollar is one of the reasons that the manufacturing sector in Minnesota seems to have cooled. Mm-hmm. And it also we have that sector losing some jobs this year. And then we have that sector picking back up as global growth is expected to pick up next year and in subsequent years. It's also influenced the Iron Range, the demand for iron ore globally.
And of course, that's been a recent item that's been in the news of the demand and the reduction in demand and the increasing unemployment in the range. So.
That's right.